I've been promoting Verve on this channel for several years, but I want to remind everybody that before Verve, the anime hub of the internet was Crunchyroll, the ever-improving streaming service that offers such titles as Black Clover, Re:Zero, Haikyuu, Boruto, and more. Literally thousands of hours of anime are on Crunchyroll, and it works on all your devices. Click the link in the description to try it for free today. So it is April 1st, 2020. I know some of you are probably thinking this is an April Fool's video, and it sort of is, but it sort of isn't. This is the day to do wacky topics, and we're going to actually take this topic somewhat seriously, believe it or not, because there is something to be said about it. We're going to be doing a very unique and different versus battle. So we're going to be discussing Nappa from Dragon Ball Z, the giant muscular mustache, wearing badass, against Bill Goldberg from World Championship Wrestling and World Wrestling Entertainment, the giant muscular mustache wearing badass of that universe. And we're going to be discussing who would actually win this fight. Now, you would think, okay, Nappa would win. That's what most fans would assume just right off the hop, but it might not be so easy. There might be something more to it than that. So joining me on this topic, please welcome the man who came up with this idea ironically, and then I said, let's just do it. MJ, the king of the versus battles.
What's up, man? And I'm happy to be talking about this. And just to make note for the people who are listening to this, we are taking into account Goldberg from, as Danny said, the WCW continuity and the WWE continuity, their canon and their depiction of Goldberg, the character. So I don't know. Do you want to start this off, or do you want me to go ahead and get into it?
Well, Bill Goldberg has a lot of very impressive feats. Now, I just want to say, and we're going to tease this now early, but are you still planning on doing Brock Lesnar versus Michael Myers for Halloween, bro?
It's Brock versus Jason Voorhees, but I could throw Michael into that. I mean, it would be fun either way.
Triple threat.
A triple threat, yeah. And that's kind of what started this whole thing, is because when you actually look at Brock Lesnar's resume, he's a very powerful being within WWE's continuity and one of the toughest, if not the toughest ever. And Goldberg stands right alongside that. So, yeah.
Goldberg has defeated Brock Lesnar on 2 separate occasions, so we have to take that into account. Now, let's go ahead and talk about it. Initially, on the surface, Nappa's feats are pretty damn powerful. He's second to Vegeta in the Saiyan Saga. He blew up an entire city by himself with 2 fingers. And I know I've done a lot of things with 2 fingers that I'm very proud of, but not blown up a city, unfortunately. So we can't, I actually did the same thing that he did, the same movement and everything. So, we're gonna have a good time here.
We're gonna have a great time.
As the world falls apart, we'll have a good time.
On top of taking out a city, he also destroyed an entire army on his own. I believe that's anime only. And of course, he was the strongest fighter up until that point that the Earthlings had encountered. And he was just an overall badass. But I just want to say something real quick. Man, him and Goldberg do look alike, dog. They really do.
They do. If they were to make a Dragon Ball movie, Goldberg, not now, but at one time, would have been perfect to play Nappa. I felt that way for 23 years, bro.
Right. I think a lot of people felt that way. It's just too perfect. I mean, nowadays, maybe The Rock, because of how big he's gotten over the years. But, back then, Goldberg would have been the one, The
one thing about Nappa is he may have destroyed a whole city and wiped out the Z Fighters, but he's not undefeated. And Goldberg was undefeated for 173 victories, and then he lost to big sexy Kevin Nash thanks to a cattle prod that hit him in the heart. Now, you would think, well, will a cattle prod really damage Nappa? The answer is probably not, but I feel like Goldberg has increased in power as the years went by. Case in point, Goldberg has 2 wins over Brock Lesnar. Now, the Brock Lesnar that Goldberg defeated in 2004 had a stunning string of victories over The Rock, over Kurt Angle at that time, over a lot of different people, including, of course, Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan is said to be an immortal. And so Goldberg's strengths improved and got stronger as his life progressed, even though he's 53 now and just defeated The Fiend, which is going to be part of what you're going to say here in a minute, right?
Yes, because people have to remember, even though Nappa did destroy a city, like Danny is saying, and even though Nappa does scale above Master Roshi who destroyed the moon in early Dragon Ball, which some consider a gag feat, but nonetheless, he did take care of the moon. Even though Nappa scales to that and above that, you have to remember in WWE's continuity, and even WCW, there's a lot of wacky stuff happening. In WWE, they have demons. They have beings who go beyond reality. They have people who can teleport. Correct. They have people who can control the energy of the stadiums.
Don't forget, in WCW, right after Goldberg beat Hogan, Ultimate Warrior showed up and had the ability to not only dematerialize in the ring, but also appear in mirrors as illusions to where only Hulk Hogan and the audience can see it and not Eric Bischoff. Let's not forget that. Very bad episode of Nitro. So yes, Hulk Hogan got a win over Ultimate Warrior by putting fire in his face. So Hogan can throw fireballs now. Okay, so he's up there with many Dragon Ball Z characters. Just making sure we clarify that.
Also, one interesting thing that I want to point out is during one of the most recent runs of Kane, even though that was about 6-7 years ago, when he went up against John Cena, it was stated by the commentary team, which are basically the exposition characters. Oh man, I can't.
Michael Cole.
They stated that this Kane is more dangerous than any Kane prior. And if you remember, Kane back in the day was an absolute beast. And not only that, he's able to control fire, he's able to shoot fire and lightning, and he can control the energy of an entire stadium, much like his brother, The Undertaker.
He can shoot fire out of the ring post, brother,
he can shoot
his
fire
mind.
out of the ring post.
He can turn the entire building into a red light somehow with his supernatural power. Same thing Bray Wyatt can do. Bray Wyatt learned that ability, bro. Maybe they both train with the same day demon, bro, the same demonic master.
So you have this Kane who is astronomically more powerful than the Kane from the Attitude Era. And then you have Brock Lesnar show up around 2012, I believe, right?
Right, came back.
Which is the UFC Brock Lesnar. This is a Brock Lesnar who is stated to be superior than the rookie version.
He got a Zenkai boost.
He got a Zenkai.
After getting diverticulitis, he got a Zenkai boost, bro.
And he's been the most destructive character that we've seen.
Yeah, he lost to John Cena's chain, bro. All right, keep going. I'm sorry. Man.
But
I apologize.
Just to say all this, the point is these are very powerful beings, and people like John Cena and Brock Lesnar, who are more, I guess, grounded in reality than these other characters, they've had feats of beating them and even outpowering them. But there's something you brought up to me which is interesting, because we don't see dimension level feats until we get into the later part of Z. But you talked about the Fiend, and I'll let you get into that.
Well, yeah, Goldberg defeated the Fiend at Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia with a spear and with a suplex, which is really supposed to be a jackhammer, but Goldberg had trouble getting him up because Bray Wyatt's been hitting the buffet a little bit too much, and because Goldberg's old now, but he still was able to jackhammer him and get the 3 count in a very easy match for Bill Goldberg. And it's one of those things where the Fiend has been able to not only materialize and dematerialize, he can also create his own pocket dimensions, aka the Firefly Funhouse is the pocket dimension. And he's able to do that, and he's able to strike fear into people like Seth Rollins, who's already a coward anyways, but he struck even more fear into him, and make him cower away. And not to mention, Bray Wyatt was able to survive several chair shots, about 17 curb stomps, and a sledgehammer to the face. So by that logic, Goldberg's spear and jackhammer is more powerful than 17 pounds of metal being thrust into your face. Now think about that. That right there is very, very strong. Could Nappa really handle that? I don't know. I mean, we're dealing with Nappa, who got jobbed out by Goku. I feel like if Goldberg were to get the atomic spear on him and the jackhammer, man, especially if he was mad after Piccolo died, I mean, it might be curtains for freaking Nappa, bro. I mean, I don't know if he'll kill him, but he definitely will get him down for the 1, 2, 3. All you gotta do is get that pinfall win, bro. You don't have to kill the guy. Just beat him 1, 2, 3.
The only thing you could probably say in favor of Nappa is that he's faster than Goldberg, that he has better speed feats, but not Goldberg in '98, who was doing backflips against Jerry Flynn on WCW Thunder. Remember, that was a very fast Goldberg. Let's not forget, man, Goldberg beat Hugh Morris, who was born in the Dungeon of Doom, which is also a pocket dimension created by the Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan, aka the Devil, in Championship Wrestling from Florida. So Hugh Morris was created by the devil himself,
and Bill Goldberg defeated Hugh Morris. Think about that. He beat a demonic, and that's almost like if Nappa, now, can Nappa beat Mira and Toa? Probably not. And that's the same thing, right? They're demonic beings. So I feel like Goldberg from his first match was able to do that, bro. That's impressive, bro. He beat the entire Ravens flock.
Also, just to bring up what you talked about earlier, the pocket dimension, that's sort of something that we don't necessarily see until the later part of Z. Now, we see different kind of dimensions in Dragon Ball, but the whole idea of people like bursting dimensions or fighting characters who can create dimensions really isn't something that you see into like the Cell Saga and the Buu Saga, especially with Super Buu. But again, man, that just goes to show how powerful these characters are, you know? So in WWE
That's
canon.
right, bro. We've seen The Undertaker literally manifest lightning from his hands, from the skies. We've seen him create thunderstorms inside of an arena somehow. We've seen him teleport. We've seen him, survive, being buried alive. He's died about 15 times in WWE continuity. He was killed by Yokozuna. He was killed by Vince McMahon. He was killed by Kane at one time. He was killed by Mankind at SummerSlam 96. Dude, The Undertaker, and he already came into the company dead. The Undertaker, and he has a win over the immortal slime Hulk Hogan. So we've got, the Undertaker's a very difficult character to beat, and yet
Brock Lesnar did it multiple times.
Brock Lesnar did it multiple times. Goldberg beat Lesnar after he did it. Plus, Goldberg was able to hang in there toe-to-toe with Taker. And the only reason Goldberg lost that match within continuity is he knocked himself out when he hit the ring post. So if Goldberg goes for the spear and Nappa moves out of the way and he hits a tree, then Nappa's probably going to get him, bro. He might destroy the tree, but he's going to get him, bro.
Before we close this video, I want to say this.
I don't want to close this video. I want it to...
just to add on to WWE.
I don't want it to end.
Just to add on to WWE scaling here. Think about this for a second. Good old Vinnie Mac fought God. And then...
Oh my God. Backlash 2006, bro. Shawn Michaels and God against the McMahons.
Exactly, bro. And so again, that just goes to show you how crazy this continuity is. And people like Goldberg and Lesnar who stand at the top, they're pretty darn powerful.
It doesn't make any sense when anime fans trash on wrestling or when wrestling fans trash on anime when it's the same fucking shit. It's the same thing.
It's the same shit, yeah.
It's the same thing. There's, especially shonen stuff, there's arcs, there's characters, there's turns, there's shocking moments. There's even in-between animation. And if you don't believe me, look at Ric Flair's aging from 2003 to 2004, bro. That's an in-between animation waiting to happen, bro. Let me get AJ on to see if he can figure out which one of these fucking guys with the masks on freaking did it, bro, because it's a real thing. So who wins, bro? Who wins, bro, between Goldberg and Nappa, bro?
I have my money on Goldberg.
Really, I'm going to give the ace to Nappa, but I'm going to let the fans vote. And they're probably going to pick Nappa because most of them are probably Dragon Ball fans and they don't really know the power of Bill Goldberg, bro. Let's not forget, Bill Goldberg also jackhammered the Giant, who is a literal giant, bro. He is a giant of a man, bro. I don't know if Nappa can pull that off, dude.
That is right. We didn't see Nappa fight any giants, bro. People who are larger than life. And
he jackhammered him. He jackhammered him on multiple times and beat him in like 3 minutes on Nitro. So that's... Goldberg can hang with some of these Dragon Ball Z guys, man. Not all of them. I'm not saying he can be Moro or Ultra Instinct Goku, but if Moro were to try to suck out his energy, he wouldn't have much to suck out, bro. And we're just gonna leave it at that. Let's just say that Goldberg gets really tired really fast, bro, and it's kind of concerning.
Vegeta would probably job to him though.
To Goldberg?
Yeah.
You're gonna piss off the wrong people, bro. Listen, he said it, not me. I don't. The views expressed by MJ do not reflect those of myself, Geekdom 101, or any of our partners. So that's his opinion. So I'm going with Nappa. You're going with Goldberg. Let us know in the comments what you think, and let's end this fucking video now before I get in more trouble.